What's going on, everybody? It's your host of the Morning Beer Podcast, Devereaux Davis. Still rocking the band-aid on the top of my head from a bad shaving accident, but it's okay. We're all good. Today we coming to you with a New York Giants video, New York Football Giants video. As everybody knows, besides being a huge Mets fan, and most of my channel has been about Mets stuff, I'm also a huge Giants fan. As far as my sports list goes, it's New York Mets number one. In baseball, I only have one team: football, one team; basketball, one team; hockey, one team; college basketball, one team. I don't believe in a fanatic or a true fan having multiple teams in one sport. Then you're not a fanatic. You just like multiple teams. I believe a true fanatic only has one team. So my Mets, number one in baseball; football, Giants; New York Knicks in basketball goes there, number three in my list, and then number four is the Rangers in hockey. Number five is college basketball. Is going to be St. John's Redmond. So it's pretty much, that's how I have it layered in my tier system. So I'm doing a video today on my Giants. I'm fanatic about the Giants. Pretty much we just went through the free agent period, and we're still at the very back end of it, where a lot of smaller, lesser players that hasn't been signed is probably going to latch on now and sign. Giants have Adoree Jackson, who played for the Tennessee Titans, who's a cornerback, coming in to potentially be our cornerback number two, to be on the other side of Bradbury. So if we sign him, that suits another need that I feel that we had going into the draft that's going to be addressed. So, I mean, that's only a win for us, and that's a plus. And sorry for the glare in my glasses. Please try to ignore that. So what my video is today is pretty much what the Giants would do in the first few rounds of our draft, since a lot of our needs was taken care of via free agency, and what our needs are. So all together in general, what our basic needs are, and I have a proposal of what I think we should do, Gettleman should do, to make this right now. I think we're a playoff team, because by default, because the NFC East is so weak. Last year the winner was Washington football team with a 7-9 record. I think next year somebody come out of this division with double-digit win, 10 wins. Right now, don't feel Philadelphia is a serious contender. Dallas, it all depends on how Dak Prescott comes back from that injury, and if he does come back ready for the season. He just signed that huge deal right there, so that took a lot of their cap. So they wasn't able to sign a lot of players. So it's between us and Washington. Washington's defense is looking really good. They come back with a lot of the same players. They come back with Ron Rivera as their coach, who I think he's probably the best coach in that division, with Joe Judge being a close second. And I think that team has a lot with the defense. The only thing is, who's going to be their quarterback? Is it going to be Ryan Fitzpatrick? Is it going to be, do they draft a quarterback in the mid-first round, maybe a Mac Jones, something like that? But what can they do to better their quarterback's position and better their offense? It's what's going to have them either be a 7-win team again, or a 10-win team, or maybe even an 11-win team winning the division. So I'm more under the impression, I did a video probably a few months back, probably around December, when the Giants beat Seattle in Seattle, that the Giants are primed to be the division leaders next year. Here's why. So with the Giants right now, we made a lot of, and everybody, every type of person right now, ESPN, SNY, New York, all these other guys on YouTube are pretty much saying that the New York Giants won the free agency period this year, and not with a lot of money. And it totally amazed me, everything Gettleman did this year as far as the free agency and what he got to do and plug some holes. And he's still not even finished, because we might get Adoree Jackson, like I said, the former cornerback out of USC. So what we did was we filled some needs, right? We got rid of Zeitler. We got rid of Tomlinson on the defensive end. But we went back and plugged these needs, the big needs that we needed in the draft: wide receiver in Galladay and Ross. We got 2 wide receivers. We even got tight end, which I didn't expect. We got Kyle Rudolph, who's always been dependable, rarely drops any balls. He's a great blocker too. Maybe Ingram's out the way, but I'll get to that a little bit later. We got backup quarterback. We got some defensive pieces in Ragland. Out of Bingo, who's going to be a defensive end. playing. He's probably going to start because he's a former starter for Minnesota last year. Had about 7.5 sacks 2 years ago. Had about 3 last year. So 10 double digits in the last 2 years. And we have a few other pieces that we got there to put in that we signed. So to me, way better offseason than I expected to have. So let's make it even better. So it depends on what we do in the draft, right? So right now we're sitting with the 11th pick. And please stay tuned for my mock draft video. I was going to do the whole first round. Probably do a few mock draft videos, maybe about 2 or 3. I wanted to wait till the free agency period is over. So people get familiar with the players that we're going to be talking about. Pretty much, I'm going to have every team's need. First draft video is going to have without trades. Second one's going to be with trades. Maybe the third one's going to be with 2 rounds. Okay, so as far as what I think the Giants will be doing, we have the 11th pick, and honestly, everybody wants to get a wide receiver. We'll be looking at Waddle. We're probably not going to get Chase. He's probably going to be going by either Philadelphia or Miami or Cincinnati. Excuse me 1 second. I haven't done this in front of you all in a while, but I'm tired. I'm exhausted. So we're looking at wide receivers, and more likely we're looking more into the Bama wide receivers and Jalen Waddle, and Devontae Smith. We're also looking at what's this guy's name? Kyle Pitts, right? But I don't think he's going to be there. He might be going by Philadelphia in most of these mock drafts that's out there. So with that, where do we turn to? Do we go offensive line now, because that's probably the most important piece right now to fix and to protect Mr. Jones, keep him upright, keep him on the field, go offensive line. But our tackles are pretty much solid right now. We have to look more interior line. So where do we go with the 11th pick via interior line? There's pretty much no prospects that's that high up. That's interior line in the 11th pick. Do we go with Slater? Do we go with Darashar? Slater's from Northwestern. Darashar is from Virginia Tech. What do we do with the 11th pick? Do we go defense? Do we go to 2 cornerbacks, Farley and Surtain Jr.? Do we look at Samuel Jr., who's probably not going to be that high for the 11th pick? Or do we look at J.C. Horn? These are things you got to think about. Do we go defense Parsons? Is he going to be in that position for us to draft him? Or do we look at Roche, Gregory Rousseau, whatever his name is? Do we look at Kwity Paye? Do we look at these? These are the options, things you got to look at. So came up with an idea. This is, just hear me out, to accumulate more assets, more draft picks, solidify this team, make this team a full playoff contender. Because right now, I think we're the best team. If everybody stays healthy, Barkley comes back, Galladay, and we have a high octane offense. But we got to protect Jones and give him time to throw the ball. All right, so this is what I came up with. Okay, hear me out real quick. Right now, we have a surplus of tight ends. All right, we have about 4 tight ends on the team. At least 3 of them are starting caliber. When you have Engram, Rudolph, and even Mr. Caden Smith. With that, I need to go home and sleep. I got a long day ahead of me. We also got Tulio, I think he re-signed with us. So we're pretty much stacked at tight ends. Maybe even too much stacked for teams need. So what do we do with Engram? Come up on his last year. His 5th year option was picked up. He's on his 5th year. Are we going to resign this guy? I don't think so, in my opinion. We might end up drafting a tight end somewhere later on in the draft. This is what you do. You look at Rudolph now. He's there. He's been solid. He's been able to catch the ball, not drop one, run the seams, and pretty much plays better in the offense that Jason Garrett puts out there. So more sure-handed than Engram. Engram had 11 drops. Rudolph only had 1 in the last 2 years. And he plays pretty much. Only been injured last year. So why don't we go to Jacksonville, offer them Engram. But you only offer them Engram. You offer Engram in the 11th pick. I say Gettleman finally falls back in the draft instead of going with the pick that he has. draft a little bit later on in the draft and accumulate more picks. So I'm thinking you trade Ingram, you go to Jacksonville, they're looking to get weapons to put around Trevor Lawrence. Um, you offer them Ingram and the 11th pick. So with that, I feel Ingram's by itself might warrant a third or fourth round pick. But if you offer the 11th round, the 11th pick overall in draft and Ingram, you go to Jacksonville. They have 10 picks in this draft. They have two in each of the They have two actually in how many rounds? They actually have 2 and 4 rounds. Okay, they have 2 picks for 4 of the 7 rounds. They have 10 picks altogether. Okay, you tell them, listen, I give you Ingram in the 11th. Give me your second pick in the first round, which is number 25. You fall back about 14 spots in the first round, where to me this draft is deep enough that you could get somebody later on in this draft that's going to be able to plug in right now and start either on the O-line or even a defensive backfield. Or even if you get a pass rusher, because most of the defense, this is an offensive top-heavy draft. Most of the defense is in the mid to later round of this draft. So you could fall back if you want to get somebody defensively. So you give them Ingram and the 11th pick. You get back the 25th pick. You get back one of the second round picks. So I was thinking a little bit higher, the 33rd, which is the first and the second round, but I don't think they want to give that up. They might give you the 45th overall pick, which is more towards behind our second round pick. So with that, you'll have the 25th pick, our 42nd pick, and the 45th pick. So you have 3 picks within that middle 15 picks right there, middle 20 right there, between the 25th and the 45th pick. You could get at least 2 or 3 starters out of that right there, maybe even one project. Then also, besides their second round pick, you give us one of your 4th round picks. You don't want to give us the first pick in the second round. That's fine. Give us the first pick in the 4th round. Give us number 106. Right there, that will give us before in the first 4 rounds. That'll give us. We'll have 2 in the 4th. I think we'll have 1 or 2 in the 3rd, 2 in the 2nd, and then 1 in the 1st. Right there, we'll accumulate about 6 picks in the first 4 rounds. We can help build a winning team with that. You can help build a playoff team with that. A sustainable team that's going to be good for a few years. Look at what we did when we won our first Super Bowl out the last 2 that Coughlin was involved in. And that was 2008. That was all Jerry Reese selecting the draft that was able to put people in the start and play right away to make our team comparable and make our team potent enough to win. So a good draft, and this is down to Gettleman making the right picks with these picks that he accumulate. A good draft will help propel our team to 10 to 11 wins. We also have a great coach and judge who's been making great choices and decisions with his personnel, his coaching staff, and just overall as a coach. I have the utmost confidence that this scouting is going to be well enough to do well with these 6 picks right there. So my opinion, we fall back in the draft. We give Jacksonville Ingram. We give Jacksonville the 11th pick. But we also get back the 25th pick. We get back the 45th pick. And we get back the 106th pick, which will be in the 1st, 2nd, and the 4th round of the draft to help accumulate enough draft assets right there. So you're going to select some starters out of that. You're definitely going to get some starters out of that. So this is my plan. Let me know how you feel about it. Let me know if you think it's a good enough plan. Definitely leave comments below. Tell some friends about one before we even leave. I'm gonna let you know some of the players that's gonna be involved with the 25th pick overall. I'm gonna do more of a mock draft for you guys later on and let you all know how I feel and which way the draft is gonna go. Like I said, one's gonna be without trades, one's gonna be with trades. But some players we could look at with the 25th pick if we come down to some prospects I feel that's intriguing. Darvish could go as high as our 11th pick, but he could also go as low as our 25th pick if we get the 25th pick. He's an O-lineman out of Tech, but he's more of a tackle, but he could probably slide inside. A person I like is Rashawn Slater if we keep the 11th pick. And I'm also going to talk about if we keep the 11th pick, what we should do. But Rashawn Slater out of Northwestern, he's probably not going to fall that far to us. But at 11 pick, he's an option there, but he's an O tackle, and we're already solid there. We need somebody in the inside. My man Wyatt Davis out of Ohio State is an option. There's also another interior lineman. I think his name is Kasimi from he's a center. He's from Texas. I think he's also an option there for us at 25, if not with the early second round pick. O lineman out of USC, Tucker. I can't pronounce his first names, like I can't pronounce half these names anyway. Um, he's also an option. You could slot him in maybe as a guard, and I think he plays better at a guard. He's listed as O lineman. He's not necessarily a tackle, but he's more of a guard. I think that's who you really look for with the 25th pick to help keep the running game solid and keep the Jones upright. Um, as far as inside, Gates is fine at center. Um, our guards, Hernandez and Lemieux, I'm kind of not sold all the way, but I feel they could start. But I'm not sold all the way. Maybe it'll need a little bit more seasoning, but right now you could probably put in Tucker, and he's probably a plug and play right now. Um, we lost out in D line. We lost Tomlinson. Another option out of Bama is our defensive lineman Barrymore. I think he's also an option. Rousseau could fall all the way down to us at 25 if we keep that pick as an edge rusher out of Miami. But I also like his teammate a little bit better, Phillips, who plays the defensive line. He plays more like Leonard Williams, but he's probably a better pass rusher than Leonard Williams. The linebacker out of Notre Dame, his name I cannot pronounce. He has a long ass name, but he's also an option. Also the edge rusher out of Georgia, Olajeri, I think that's his name. And I'm in love with this player, linebacker Xavier Collins out of Tulsa. He's an option too. Plug and play, start right away, and be a force on the defense. So these are options we could go with if we slide down to the 25th pick. I don't think anybody you get the 11th pick is as comparable as somebody. I don't think they're way head and shoulders above anybody that you get a 25th pick, unless you're picking a Devontae Smith, who of course is the Heisman Trophy winner. But do we need him right now? We have a surplus of wide receiver. We have Slayton, Shepard, Ross, Mr. Galladay, C.J. Board. We have a lot at wide receiver. Do we need a sixth wide receiver? That's an option. We kill him with that, but we have to keep Jones upright. So you have to build from in out. So I'm more intrigued with interior linemen to protect them in Tucker. Or I'm also intrigued with interior linemen for the defense in Barrymore from Bama. All right. So let me know how you feel about that. I'll let you know more about the mock draft in the future. I'm your host of the Morning Beer Podcast, Devereaux Davis. Thanks for listening. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment. Tell a friend. And you stay safe. Peace.